neighborhood.
Yes.
In your neighborhood. And who are the people in your neighborhood? They're the people that you meet when you're walking down the street. They're the people that you meet each day.
The Sir Walter Jones Show.
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries.
Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
If you're into the best hip-hop and R&B for the past 30 years, check out our sister station, UBM Jam, by selecting it at our homepage
at urbanbroadcastmedia.com.
Ladies, what do you want to know? How bad do you want to know it? What are you willing to do to find out? Tune in to the Men's Chronicles right here at the Sir Walter Jones Show at UBM Praise.
Monday.
Hi ho and welcome back.
Welcome back. Politics, doctrine, current events. Let's meet at the Controversy Corner on the Sir Walter Jones Show here on UBM Praise.
Well, it's good to be back. This is Keep It Real Carter here at the intersection of controversy and reality. We're talking about boys to men. Everybody, you've heard the phrase, boys will be boys. No matter how old he gets, he's going to be rough around the edges. He's going to be aggressive, inquisitive, instinctive. He's going to break or tear some things up. But he does that in order to build, to learn, to inquire. Somebody said inquiring minds want to know. He will pull some things apart just to put some other things together. Hint, hint. Now, I also want you to understand, ladies, we are not girls. We are not plotters. We're reactors. Y'all plan, but y'all think we plan. We're just doing what we do. We seek and search. We hunt for hunger. But you all desire and crave and yearn. Now, don't get us wrong. Now, we appreciate women, but we need our daddies. Might not necessarily be our biological father, but we need a daddy. We need a man. Not no heavy-voiced, high testosterone having woman with a mustache. We need a man. Somebody who urinates standing. We need a man. Because there's a struggle that's a mysterious thing to you all that men go through. Men don't get lost, contrary to popular belief. We're taking tourist routes. We are going to find our way. But if you women keep babying these boys and keep giving them a way out and justifying their errors by saying, oh, he's just a sweet little boy. Oh, no. He's going to become lazy. He's going to get caught up, and he'll never develop or evolve. Now, what are you trying to say? Men are creatures of habit, and these habits are formed by the things that we are surrounded by. So, what is our real problem? I'll tell you. Women. Yeah, I said it, women. We can't live with them, and we can't live without them. How about that? Details are for girls. There's your big picture. And here we are at the end of the Controversy Corner on UBM Praise.
Love it. Controversy Corner every night, Monday to Friday around this time of the hour. I tell you, yeah, they standing this time. I saw them. I can hear them standing for you. That's a Controversy Corner is well, really the whole show premise is about controversy. So it's almost like an oxymoron, right? I'm gonna read this scripture here, and y'all tell me, give me an answer on this. Colossians 3:21. It says, "Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged." Darryl?
I know that scripture well because my daughter heard it in youth church.
Okay.
And every time I got mad, she or did something, she threw it in my face.
She threw that
Dad, provoke not your children.
Oh, wow.
That's real important. And then what it's saying is sometimes you can do things to put your kids, to make them angry. And we have a generation of angry children. That's now a lot of these kids now, they mad because number one, they've been sold a bill of goods. Nobody's pouring into them. And then they're just kind of left and told them that they need to go to college and they need to do this and that. Nobody's really showing them how to do it. Also, be careful of the relationship that you have, whether it be your wife or with other women. I think, and I'm just being transparent now, I went through a very bad divorce. I've been married a long time. And in the last few years particularly, there was a lot of fighting.
Okay.
And so when you fight in front of your kids and a lot of arguing, that produces an angry child.
It does.
And that provokes them to anger.
Wow.
And I didn't realize that in the middle of it because sometimes we get so caught up in what we're feeling and our emotions and what we're going through, we don't realize that kid, two things, that kid is experiencing that too. They're not mature enough to process it. And two, you gonna be over it in a couple of years when you get a divorce or move out or whatever and stuff like that. But that kid is gonna have that for the rest of their lives, or for a long time after that, because they just don't process that. So we have to be very careful that we protect our kids. We don't push them into being angry or create atmospheres where they become angry.
That's good. Alvin and Art, let me read the other chapter, the other book and chapter out of Ephesians 6, that is. Ephesians 6. Colossians says it and shortens it. Ephesians go into a little more detail. Ephesians 6, it makes a contrast. It says, children, obey your parents in the Lord. It's talking to children first. For this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee and thou mayest live long on the earth. And fathers usually stop there to discipline the child. But rarely do you hear the next verse come from the fathers. He says, and ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the
admonition.
Yeah, bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. So verse 4 is highlight on that. Fathers, provoke not your children, bring them up in admonition. So what does that mean?
That's a delicate tightrope to walk because a lot of times men don't discipline until they get angry.
Okay.
Man, if you talk about men don't discipline until they get angry, you see some of what? No, you need to see what some of these mothers do.
Oh no, I see modern day mothers and they are very vicious.
They are extremely vicious. That child is berated. We're not supposed to call our girls the B word. Moms get mad and it flies. And I'm seeing this, by some rather educated women. I'm going like, but if you're trying to teach them to not be thus, why are you going ahead and reacting? And then the brother sees this, and so he's going like, okay, when she makes me mad, it's okay, right?
It's in the Baptist church. We holding this.
Yeah, right. Anyway, yeah.
No, just teasing.
Everybody move back from that side of the table. Here comes the lightning. It's about to get Old Testament up in here. But
I'm teasing.
I see those two passages on a couple of different levels. Because one, I see it as a balance. And when people always tell me, well, the Bible contradicts itself, I say, no, it doesn't. It balances itself, but you have to keep reading to find that balance. Yes, obey your parents, but this is not one of those slave type obey your parents, because parents are wrong also. And then when your parents take it too far, I believe this is the exit point for the child to step to the side, because now if you want to be respected and you want to be honored, you need to be honorable. And you always have to maintain that honorable face.
It's earned.
Right. And then I've seen some divorces where it's real nasty. The one parent is acting a total fool, and the other one is like, but you're not going to say anything? It's like, both of us, both of my child's parents cannot be acting a fool. Somebody got to maintain a level head to get them through this.
Okay, but back to the question about how fathers do things.
Yes.
Well, actually, that was the father. I've seen that from more fathers than I have from anyone else. Where it's like, why are you doing? I say, because I can't do that. I had to go through this in my first divorce because I told sir about that. I got, the S recital. You ain't gonna be, you never be, you this, that, and other, ran all the way down, on everything that I was doing and about. And I just got up and walked out and like, how can you do that? Because it wasn't gonna go anywhere at that point. I could stand there and yell and scream. She could stand there, yell and scream. And what are the little ones gonna, what is it gonna benefit them?
But what about the dynamic between you and the child? You keep comparing the mother.
Me and the child. You have to talk to your children. You have to go to your children. You have to go ahead and explain. One thing, I think I wasn't 10 years old before I stopped getting angry about whoopings I got from my father, because my father introduced this whole concept of cause and effect.
Yes.
Why? Because he would break down. Why is this happening? Why is what's about to go down going to go down? Mm-hmm. And you had no choice but because I got caught.
Now I'll say that there's a difference between gender. I can say to my daughter something, and when it's time to implement discipline, she will react a certain type of way. But with my son, if I recall, because I do say, now I've said this several times, or I make it count. That's the first thing. But the second thing is to hear them out. However, when they hit puberty, they have what Sinbad called brain damage, mm-hmm. and they think they can outsmart you with reason, with logic, and teenagers forget mm-hmm. that parents are only a few years away from being a teenager themselves.
Absolutely.
So that, as I often say to my kids, if they're listening, they're saying, "Oh, here it comes. Mm-hmm. You new to the game. I'm true to the game." Mm-hmm. As they say, same game, different players.
Sure.
The job of the fathers then is to recognize game. Mm-hmm. Hear the logic behind the strategic move that child is making before you impart discipline. I'm sorry. The purpose of a father is to impart discipline for direction, not necessarily conformity.
Sure. No, that's good. That's
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Me and my stepson, we go through this because he's smart. He has charisma. He has all these other little things, and I tell him, it's like, that means nothing to me because I have it too, and I had it longer than you. I had it 30 years longer than you were actually on this earth.
So your charisma is 30 years longer than his charisma?
Yeah. Anyway. And, I sit there and I go ahead and hear him out because I would always make a child explain what you're doing, why you're doing it, what's going on with you. And it was like, because you do get the floor, because it's not going to be a case of, I know why you're doing it. It's like, no. And I had to, impart that to him. I was like, no, do not tell him why he's doing it. Ask him why he's doing it, because you may come up with something that sounds a little bit better that he can exploit.
Yes,
that will lessen the blow of what's about to come. I was like, so no, you tell me what's going on.
Don't give him evidence against you.
Oh, and see, and I would do things like when they're like, well, I don't know. So then I started throwing out things to him. But the thing is, everything I throw out to him, it's a trap.
Darryl?
Yeah, you know what? He made a good point. Both of them did. A lot of times we discipline our kids when we get angry. Mm-hmm. And that's not really about discipline. That's about your anger.
Sure.
The kid then did something that you felt like was disrespectful, and you got to get your respect. And so, not in my house and all that stuff. But you got to understand that's a person too, mm-hmm. and they got the way they think and stuff like that. And they got a sin nature and all of that. And so, it's our jobs to teach them as well. Discipline, real discipline, is supposed to move you to right behavior. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference. And a lot of kids, a lot of parents, like some of the parents that you alluded to earlier, male and female, man, you hear these women cussing out the parent, the kid, and that ain't got nothing to do with discipline. That's about you just disrespecting your kid, basically, and really teaching them violence.
That goes into the whole thing, the sense of rage and having no self-control whatsoever. It was like, are you serious?
Absolutely.
I say, at what point did this stop being about corrective measure and turn into a pissing contest?
Okay. And that's what it is.
Yeah. Let me go here. I got about 15 minutes. I'm gonna go to Facebook right quick. Michelle Thomas.
It's in the Bible.
Yeah. While there is a difference in boys and girls, and while there are some things that only a man could teach his son, there are also some things that only his mother can teach him also. One being affection. While some men,
I disagree with that.
Well, we gotta keep reading. Let's see what she says. See if she fixes it. While some men exhibit affection towards his sister, mother, grandmother, girlfriend, or spouse, there are others who wouldn't know it or understand it if it slapped them in the face. Okay. growing up in my household, it was my mother who gave me hugs and kisses and kissed my boo-boos, while my dad showed me what it meant to be a man and how to take care of the family. Not saying that men don't give or show their sons affection, but it mostly comes from the mother. That's what she's saying. And I understand why you say you disagree, because I know men. I have 3 children. I raised them